right, I'm gonna start my end cab for a manual truck. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop my baggage. The door open. You'll have your fire extinguisher and your 3 DOT reflector triangles. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is my fire extinguisher. It's properly mounted and secured. It's ABC rated. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's fully charged to the green. How you know it's fully charged? Because the needle is facing the green, and my safety pin is intact. Then you got your 3 DOT reflector triangles in the box. They're properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, chipped, or broken. They're red and amber in color, and they can stand up on their own. Then we'll do our 3 points of contact, 2 hands, 1 foot, all the way into the truck. You shut your door, and then we'll continue with our safety. First thing we're going to talk about when we get in the truck is our seatbelt. It's properly mounted and secured in 3 locations: above my left shoulder, below my left hip, and below my right hip. All hardware is present and tight. My seatbelt itself is not cut, torn, frayed, or twisted. It latches, unlatches, latches back, and it holds in place. Then we're going to talk about our spare fuses. I have 1 spare fuse for every fuse type in this truck. Then we'll go to our mirrors. I got my driver side mirror, my passenger side mirror, my driver hood mirror, and my passenger hood mirror. They are all properly mounted and secured, not cracked, chipped, or broken, clean and clear of any illegal stickers and obstructions to my view, and they're all adjusted to my sight. Then I got my front windshield. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, chipped, or broken. It's clean and clear of any illegal stickers and obstructions to my view. My weather seal around it is properly mounted and secured. It's not cut, torn, or frayed, and no visible leaks. Then I got my windshield wipers. They're properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. All hardware is present and tight. My windshield wiper blades are flush to my windshield with no abrasion, bulges, or cuts. Then we're going to come inside to do our safe start. First thing we're going to do is make sure that we're in neutral. We're going to make sure our buttons are pulled out. Then we'll safely start our truck. Put our clutch to the floor. We're going to turn our key to the on position. Our gauges should sweep and my ABS light should come on and go off between 3 and 6 seconds, which it just did, and we'll start our truck. All right, our oil pressure should register within 3 seconds. And we're gonna read our gauges from left to right. We have our water temperature gauge. Right now it's reading at about 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Proper operating range is 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. My DEF tank is reading at a half a tank, and it shouldn't be no less than 1/8 of a tank. Our oil pressure gauge is reading at about 20 psi and rising. Proper operating range is 30 to 60 psi. We have our voltmeter. Our voltmeter is reading at about 14.1 volts. Proper operating range is 12 to 15 volts. Then we have our primary and secondary air pressure gauge. Both are reading at about 100 psi and rising. Proper operating range is 120 to 140 psi. Did my gauges from left to right. Now we're going to do our light indicators from left to right. We're going to start with our headlight indicator, which our dashboard illuminated, so we know that our headlight indicator works. My high beam indicator in blue, it works. Then we're going to do our left turn signal. It works. My right turn signal, it works. My windshield wipers, they work and they squirt. Need some windshield wiper fluid. Then we'll do our city horn. Then our highway horn. Then with our right hand, we'll do our 4-way flashers. Make sure that they work. Then we'll come over here to our heater and defroster. We'll make sure we set it to the foot and the windshield. We'll set it to heat first, and we'll turn it all the way up. Make sure it's heating up top. Make sure it's heating up at the bottom. And then we'll flick it over to cool. Make sure it's cooling down at the top, cooling down at the bottom. All right, now I'm gonna adjust my seat so I can get ready to start my brake test. All right, now I'm gonna do my first purge. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push in my yellow button. I'm gonna make sure my foot is covering the brake. Not pressing it, but just covering it. I'll push my yellow button in, and I'm gonna fan my brakes down to get it up under 100 psi. All right, now I'm gonna rev my engine up to 1400 RPMs to my air governor cut out between 120 and 140 psi. governor to sneeze. Governor just cut out at 130 psi. Now since my yellow button's in, I'm going to do my first tug test, and I'm going to make sure my trailer brakes are working. My yellow button's in, my red is out. I'm going to test and make sure my trailer brakes work. Clutch to the floor, foot slightly on the brake. I'm going to slide it down to third gear. Should feel a slight tug on my trailer. Alright, my trailer brakes are working, so I'll put it back in neutral. I'll pull my yellow button out. I'll press my red button in. Now I'm going to test my tractor brake. Once again, clutch to the floor, third gear, off the clutch. Alright, my tractor brakes are working. Now I'm going to push my yellow button back in. Now both of my buttons are in, and I'm not going to touch them for the rest of the test. Now I'm going to do my service brake test. I'm going to put it in third gear, and I'm going to go forward at 5 miles per hour without my hands on the steering wheel, and it shouldn't turn left or right. If it does, that means that my brakes are out of alignment and they need to be adjusted. So we'll go forward. I give it a tug. Alright, my steering wheel didn't turn left or right, so my brakes are properly aligned. Now I'll put it back in neutral. Now I'm going to do my second purge. I'm already at 100 psi, so I'm just going to rev my engine back up to 1400 RPMs till my air governor cut out between 120 and 140 psi. I'll go ahead and take my phone out for my stopwatch. In this case, I'm going to use my watch on my arm. All right. My air governor just cut out again at 130 psi. Now I'm going to turn my truck off and keep my buttons in. Now we're going to do our lab test. That's leaks, alarms, and buttons. LAB. So now I'm going to start my truck, put it to the on position. I'm going to let my gauges sweep. All right, now I'm going to hold my foot on the brake for 3 seconds to stabilize my air pressure. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3. All right, stop it. My air pressure is reading at about 120 psi. Now I'm going to continue to hold my foot on the brake for an additional 60 seconds, and I shouldn't lose no more than 4 psi within those 60 seconds. And I'm starting now. Seconds. Ten more seconds. All right, passed. I didn't lose no more than 4 PSI within those 60 seconds. It's reading at 118 PSI. And then we release our brake. Now I'm gonna do my low air alarm warning test. I'm gonna fan my brakes down. My low air alarm warning should come on at 55 PSI and above. All right, my low air alarm warning just came on at 60 PSI. Now I'm gonna continue to fan my brakes down and my button should pop out between 40 and 20 PSI. All right, both of my buttons just popped down at 30 PSI. Now I'm gonna do my outside light check. So you would take your seatbelt off, you would get all the way out your truck and turn on your headlights, your high beams, your four-way flashes, and you'll check your clearance lights all the way around the truck. Once you do that, you'll come back, get back on the step, and turn those off. Turn off your four-ways, turn off your high beams, turn off your headlights. Then you'll check your left turn signal from front to back. Then you'll come back up, flick it back up to the right, and you'll check your right turn signals from front to back. Once you do that, you'll come back in, you'll put your seatbelt back on, turn your right signal off, and then you'll ask your examiner to help you check your brake lights and your reverse light. The examiner get out, you'll check your brake lights on your truck, press the brake, they work. Go to your trailer, press them again, they work, and then they'll tell you to start your truck one more time. Then you'll throw your truck in reverse. Your reverse light works. You'll put it back in neutral and wait for further instructions.